Welcome to Belfast Wheel. Today's guest is Ryan Harris. We had Ryan on previously. Ryan is a triathlete and he's also the owner of Ryan Harris Fitness. And he basically is preparing, which we discussed in the previous episode. We'll get more detail tonight, to do the Great British Run. And this is going to take place on the 1st of August 2021. And he's doing this in aid of Mental Health UK. And he's also doing a half marathon bear crawl, which I think is in June. Yeah. And welcome back. It's good to have you back on again.
Thank you for inviting me back. It's been a while since we last chatted, to be fair.
We did it. I think we did the last one we did, and I'll probably what I'm watching. I had you on in January, but I've been having from my end, I've been having technical difficulties with some of the recordings. That I'm going to try and edit them. There's some software issue there, but that's why I have you back on, and it kind of worked out because there's been a lot's changed since then, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot more. I'm doing a lot more stuff now. As you know, with my mindset, things change every day. Like I add stuff onto challenges, and I always want to improve. I always want to be better, and I can't settle. I've got to be up here instead of down here. And if I'm down here, why am I here? I need to be up here.
To kind of, as a recap, because I watched maybe the first episode, it was basically about the Great British Run. Unfortunately, that's been postponed until August, 1st of August this year. Could you just explain what happened? I know it was an injury, you hurt your knee.
Yeah, literally. I was on a training run one day, and where I'm from, like just over like the top of my house is all hills, so it's lovely for running. But the ground is a little bit dodgy, so I've made a stupid decision. Instead of walking around this little hole, I've jumped over it, and we heard like a little pop in my knee. And at the time, didn't think nothing of it. I carried on. I must have carried on maybe a mile, half a mile, and then I started feeling this awful pain. It was shocking. It was I was in agony, and so I went home that night. Just iced it. Just try to be sensible as you do. You ice it, get the frozen peas out, and the next day, the swelling was terrible. It was bruised, the swelling. I've got a tattoo on that knee as well, so it's all very dark as it is. And then I'm just, whoa, what's happened here? So I've walked into the hospital. I've got a lift out to the hospital and walked in. And it turns out I tore my ACL, and they didn't know how I actually walked in the hospital. They're like, people with the same injury as you can't walk at all. They're in pure agony. I'm like, I'm in agony, but I can still go. I still want to go. Yeah. So that set me back big time, and I had to be very smart with recovery because, like I just kind of said, with my mindset, I still wanted to go on November the 9th, I believe it was. I still wanted to carry on and go and do that, but my coaches, my team, there's like, no, you can't. You need to be very sensible with this. Otherwise, you're going to be out long term. You're going to need an operation if you mess it up even more. So the best thing for me and my team to do was completely reschedule it till next year. I think I gave myself another 10 months to really get ready. So I say really get ready. I had to recover first. So I spent a good time recovering. And I'm not going to pretend it's absolutely amazing now because it isn't. But it's a lot better than it was. And I feel confident in it now, where when I first started running again, I wasn't feeling confident in it. It's kind of like, you know, when you're a baby and you're first starting to walk and you're like falling over all the time.
Yeah.
I was nervous for like when I'm out running, so okay, if it goes again, I know I'm screwed. Yeah. But I've just been really sensible. Physio was a lifesaver for me. She was absolutely amazing. I'd go twice a week and she'd just work on it. She'd give me all my exercises, and it was just brilliant, and thankfully things have turned out brilliant for me now. So it's
yeah.
I've had the struggle, now it's time to succeed on this run.
And what with obviously getting treatment from the physio, I take it you're now in full fledged training mode then for August. What how difficult was it, like, to basically, you were obviously aiming for November originally, and then with the injury that couldn't happen. How hard was it kind of to scale back and obviously reduce what you were doing from the output you were putting out and training to obviously a more of a taking it easy and recovery phase?
That's the thing. That was the worst thing for me, because I'm at that point, say around September last year, I'm training around 30, 40 hours a week, just solid running. And that's not including my strength and conditioning, or if I'm going out to do a little swim session or any recovery. So that's like 35 hours, whatever, just running. So then going from that to, mate, you can't run anymore. You've got to stay at home. You need to rest. You need to work on recovery. You're going to be doing like half hour a day for the next 6 months or whatever. Mentally, it was draining. Like, I can't do it. I cannot sit down and just have my feet up, and I need to be out doing something. And that was the hardest part for me mentally. It's just going from that very busy work week, shall we say, to nothing. Yeah, that messed with me the most.
And how did you manage that? What did you just switch your focus to something else? I hope you get through it, or?
So obviously, as you know, I'm a personal trainer, so I have a fair few clients that I just dove very deep into their training. So I'm kind of living my life through theirs, in a sense. Like, so I upped a lot of clients training at the same time, which was beneficial for them. I've got clients completing in marathons. I've got clients doing ultra marathons now, and it gave me such a good chance to really, really focus on them, which it was really nice, because I'm always focusing on me, and that's got to be my number one option. So then I've only got a certain amount of hours for my clients, and all of a sudden I've got all this time for my clients. So their progress has gone through the roof, which has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, excellent. And just as a recap for anyone, maybe they just clicked on this episode, I do recommend that anyone watching go back to the first one, because it'll give a bit more of a continuity of what we're talking about. Can you just briefly, so the Great British one set for the 1st of August 2021, and this is a need for Mental Health UK. Could you quickly give us a quick recap on the Great British one and what was, because you're doing a couple of mountain climbs as well, aren't you? And along the way.
No, I'm not making it easy. So yeah, we're starting down in Land's End, and I'm working my way all the way up to John O'Groats, which is the whole of Great Britain. But I'm not just sticking to that 874-mile cycle route, which a lot of people, when they do this challenge, is obviously that's still an incredible challenge, and I wouldn't take that away from anyone. But I want to be the first to do this challenge, what I'm doing. So that's when I decided to add in the 3 peaks, Snowdon, Scaffold Pike, and Ben Nevis. So now the route is very different. I'm going from Land's End to Snowdon. I'm going to climb and summit Snowdon, down Snowdon to Scaffold Pike, summit Scaffold Pike in the Lake District, and then we're going to be going from Scaffold Pike to Ben Nevis, summit Ben Nevis up in Fort William, and then all the way to John O'Groats. And this is where it gets even more trickier now, which I've recently announced. I don't know if you actually know this, John.
No.
So I got told I was looking for sponsors to do this challenge, and a company's got back to me going, "Oh, that's a brilliant. We love what you're doing," but somebody's doing exactly the same thing going the other way. I'm like, okay, so that's done me. And like I told you, I need to be up here. I want this to be a one-off, because when we're talking about mental health, to really get everybody's attention, you need to do something that's never been done before.
Yeah.
So now when I get to John O'Groats, I'm going to have my bike waiting for me, and we're going to be cycling from John O'Groats to Land's End. So that takes the trip now from 1,045 miles, which is not including actual climbing the mountains. But now we're looking at just under 2,000 miles with around 800 and 900 miles of cycling. So now the challenge has gone from here to here. And it's going to be a first. Nobody has ever done this. So I've contacted Guinness World Records, and I put in that application form to try to make this a world record thing. And it's not like an ego thing. It's that I want to get so much attention for Mental Health UK, and I'd love people to do this after me and think, okay, Ryan done that. He was the first to do this. He done this in 35 days or 40 days now, whatever. So let me beat that. So then I hope people try to, right, let's try to do this. And that's what makes me excited for it even more now. So one day people will try to beat this if they're crazy enough.
No, that's a fantastic challenge. How long roughly do you think it'll take? Obviously, the running bit will be a bit slower. The cycling will be that wee bit much quicker. Would be the whole month of August, or kind of creeping into September?
Yes. So the running will be finishing around the 30-day mark now. So we're starting the 1st of August, and we're planning to finish around the 30th of August, I believe. And then straight on the bike, and we want 8 days on a bike. So that should be. So we're looking at early September finish. Again, that's if all goes well. There's going to be obstacles I've got to overcome every day. Like me and my coach was discussing the other day. Like, again, something I've never thought of. What if I sprain my ankle? I've not got that mindset to quit. So what me and my coach were saying, if I sprain my ankle, am I just gonna get in a hotel for 2-3 days to rest it and get straight back on the run as soon as I feel good enough to? Or am I just going to turn around and go home? And there's no way on this earth I'm turning around and going home. But that's just all things that could happen. We've got to be realistic. Like, what running, say, north of Scotland, even down in Cornwall, I'm running on roads. There's not pavements. So I could clip by a car. There's so much that can happen. I was out running the other week, and I got clipped on the car with the wing mirror, which luckily nothing happened. The driver was a bit angry. I'm like, mate, it's not my fault you're getting so close to me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I, as you know, I love challenging myself, and I think this is going to raise a lot of awareness for mental health.
Definitely, it's an epic challenge. Like, I'm actually looking forward to seeing you start it. Two questions. Are you still doing it unassisted, or will you have like a support team kind of running along with you?
So it's still unassisted, but the more closer I get to this event, the more people, which I've been overwhelmed with support. And it's really shocked me how much support I've got. Like, I wasn't expecting this. I'm getting people message me on Instagram, on Facebook, going, I'd love to come out and run with you, but I'm worried I'm not going to be able to like keep up or anything. I'm like, nah, listen, like, absolutely, come along, come and run for, I don't care if you run for a mile or you run 50 miles with me. I'll be grateful for the company. Just come out, run with me, have a chat. and we can talk. Like I'm not running fast. I'm carrying all my gear. I'm not going to be able to run fast at all. Majority of it is just going to be just over that marching pace. So I'm just constantly got my legs going forward, where I've got my heart rate up high enough, which is classed as a run.
Yeah.
So it's more people welcome. And now I've mentioned that the cycling, though the people want to come cycle with me on the way back, I'm like, absolutely, come down. I don't care if you're doing even a half a mile. If you've never run before, come out for a mile, come out for half a mile. If we can make this like a kind of a whole community thing in a sense, it's been overwhelming, the support I've got, and it's really shocked me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, excellent. And will you be setting up like a website for people to log in, see your progress, make donations, etc.?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on my website, which is it's nearly finished. I'm going to have a tracker on me all time, so it's going to be a live tracker up as I go. It will just constantly update on its own, and that's just going to be on the homepage on my website. As soon as you click on my website, which will be www.ryanharrisfitness.com, you scroll down and you'll be able to see everything Great British Run. And we're going to be like selling T-shirts for again for me to wear. And for one thing I've been saying, if anyone wants to come out and run with me, just grab a T-shirt on my store, because for starters, I'm going to know you're coming to run with me, and I'm not just going to be like trying to figure you out. Why is he staring at me? Like, so if you can grab them, and also 50% of the T-shirts proceeds go to mental health as well. So I'll be putting all of it back into Mental Health UK.
Brilliant. And obviously on the build up to that, you set yourself up for the half marathon bear crawl. How did that come about? Where did you get down here for that?
No, like, I've always done bear crawling, and I absolutely love it. And I see this lad in America called Devin LeVate. He bear crawled a full marathon around New York City for Fit Ops, which is a charity to have like veterans get out of that rut and become personal trainers and get them in the fitness industry and help them with media and everything, which I think is an absolutely amazing thing Devon's been doing. So when I see he done that bear crawl marathon, I was like, okay, I want a bit of this. So originally I'm like, okay, bear crawl marathon. Then we looked at, realistically, because of the timeline I wanted to do it in, for me to train enough to do a bear crawl marathon, I would have needed around a year and a half, 2 years. So the timing just wasn't right at that time. So this is when I came up with the half marathon. It's still an absolutely epic challenge. I'm pretty sure no one in England's ever bear crawled that much, even the whole, maybe even Europe or whatever. Like, it's a very strange thing to do. Like, when you're bear crawling, majority of people do it for maybe 100 meters or 25 meters, and I'm the looks I get, right? So I've been doing a lot of training down at Bournemouth Beach, which is a nice sandy beach. It's absolutely beautiful there. The looks I get, they just see me like bear crawling, and it's just, again, for me to challenge myself and really see what I'm capable of, because like I think I've told you this before, I don't want to be just that triathlete. I don't just want to be that runner. I want to be that hybrid athlete. So I want to be able to go into the gym and pump weights with all the big bodybuilders. I want to be able to go and run with the runners. I want to be able to do all that unconventional type training, which I love. Like, I love being able to go to the gym and me and my mate playing dodgeball with medicine balls. Like it's an amazing workout. Like if when you get back to the gym and you have a buddy come with you, try it. Get a big medicine ball and get two of you. And the first one who drops it has got to do like 20-second sprints on the treadmill with like an incline of 15. Yeah. No one wants to drop that ball. So again, it's that competition. It's me and my mate's been doing it a lot. Like I say, a lot. We're getting back to the gym, but we've been doing it outside on the beach. We've even come to my back garden and just throwing medicine balls at each other to just keep them sharp. And it's just brilliant. I love all types of training, and that's just the athlete I want to be.
Yeah, good, well-rounded, pretty much all day. Yeah. And the with the bird crawl, what kind of like some of the issues that you have you had to kind of deal with or kind of cropped up?
Mate, so the worst thing for me was when I started upping my miles, because where not many people's ever done this, so there's no right or wrong way to do the training. So like, of course, I'm doing like a lot of scapular work, a lot of back work, leg work. But the main thing for me is progressive overload. So we started off with just 1 mile bear crawl, just a 1 mile bear crawl around my local field. And I'd literally just go down there, I'll do a mile, that'd be it. Then I would do that for like 3-4 days in a row, have a couple of days rest, go back next, and that, right, okay, let's do 2 miles today, 3 miles, 4 miles. So it would go in a circle like that. And even now, like, I'm still nowhere near where I want to be with this challenge. The furthest I've bear crawled now is just over 7 miles. And as you know, again, it's an achievement, but it's not that half marathon. And it's going to be a big challenge for me to get to that half marathon, because the biggest challenge I found with doing this bear crawl is my shoulders, my chest, my hamstrings. I'm laying in bed at night and I can't turn over because I'm in that much like agony. Just from that constant like ground and pound, in a sense, like bang, bang, bang all the time. And then you add my running on top too. It's not a very good mix. But it's again, mate, I love all this. This is what I'm made for.
How do you balance the training out? Like how do you have like maybe 1 week you're doing 4 runs and maybe 3 sessions of bird crawls and then rotating that about? Or
so for my running, I've got this coach called Nick Butter. He's an absolutely amazing athlete. He got the Guinness World Record for running a marathon in every country in the world. He's done the whole 186 countries, I believe. It might be 187. I can't remember how many there is. But he's run a marathon in every country in the world. And he does all my training for me, my running training. And he's actually just about to go on this new expedition. He's very similar to me. He's running the outskirts of Great Britain, which, is some challenge. It comes to around 5,700 miles or something. It's absolutely extreme. And he's doing 2 marathons every day for 100 days to achieve this goal. And it will be another world record. So he does all of my running training. He helps me do my nutrition, even helps me like my media side of things. So he gives me a certain amount of hours or miles I need to run each week. So this week I've got to run 100 miles in 20 hours. So then I break it down to what's best for my lifestyle, because as you know, I've got a lot of other things going on. I've got businesses. So we do that. Then I break it down. Okay, so the best thing for me to do this week is 15 miles Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 miles Thursday, Friday, then 15 or 20 or whatever it is. I've actually got it written out. So yeah, I'll do it that way. Then I I do my bear crawl myself, so with it, I'm not too worried about all like the science type of things for this bear crawl, which I'm normally very big into. But I'm just doing what feels right for the bear crawl. So I know now I can bear crawl 7 miles. So I know I'm going in the right direction. So I think I just need to continue that progressive overload, and then a few weeks before, start on a big deload in a sense, to be very fully ready, because I need to be very well rested at least 2 weeks before. So I'm not lifting weights at the moment. I'm not saying I'm not like trying to proper pump weights at the moment. I'm just doing more
muscle endurance based,
more endurance, that type of stuff. And it's fun. I love all this. It's a very big challenge, and I know I'm training everything correctly to be able to achieve this. Nutrition side of things, I've not really been worrying about too much, because my weight is higher than it's been for a long time, but I want it to be like that at the moment, because when this run comes about, I know there's going to be days where I've only got 4 protein bars with me, and I'm going to lose a lot of weight on that run. So I need my body to be eating my fat up at that time for energy. So that's why I am carrying a bit more heavier, a bit more weight than I usually am.
And with the half marathon bear crawl, when is that? Have you set a date for it? And I think it's for the same charity, Mental Health UK.
Yeah, of course. Again, same charity, still trying to raise awareness. It's July the 4th, 2021. So I've still got a good few months to achieve that. Have I bit off more than I can chew is a question I get asked a lot. The answer is possibly. And I could fall on my face and be flat out. I don't know. If push comes to shove and I don't achieve this, because there's as you know, with bear crawling, I could break my wrist, I can break my ankle. I can't constantly watch where I'm going to be. So, especially with the route I'm taking. So, in Portsmouth, there's stones. The terrain is everywhere. So, I've got to be very careful where I'm placing my hands.
Are you going through like from like a start and then going along a set route to a finish? Or are you doing it like in a field, like a measured track?
No, I'm not making it easy. It's kind of I'm going to be starting on South Sea Common, which is right on the seafront, and then I'm getting a big chunk of it done on that seafront, because our seafront is quite long. Then it'll be working my way all the way around town and into the city centre, which I want to finish in the city centre. I want to be able to, especially shops and everything should be all back open by then. There should be a lot of people, and if I can just catch a few people's eyes, like what's this conker doing? Like, okay, all right, he's got mental health on the back of his neck. Let's go chat to him. Let's see what this is all about. And if I can just reach people through that, if it means I look stupid going into a town centre, I'll do it. But if I can help people, it's brilliant.
No, excellent. No, I think it's like anything. I think doing challenges, it's like anything. You take that risk on, and sometimes if you fail, there's a lot you can learn from it, and you can come back stronger. And I think that we've discussed this in the past episode. Is that we pretty much live in a society where people are scared to fail. They prefer to stay at home, sit on the sofa, Netflix and chill, and go, well, I'll give it a go, and If I do, I do. I don't, I don't. We get too caught up with what if I fail. Whereas if you do fail, so what? At least you've done more than everybody, as the old saying goes. You've done more than everybody sitting on the sofa at home doing nothing. So it's like, more power to you, and I think it's fantastic. That's what that's why I have you on in the first place, because I seen your last year the wee advertisement for the Great British Ones. Thought, oh, what's that? That's interesting. And West history, as I say. Mm. So it is. Um, going back to the Great British One. We were talking about nutrition. What how have you planned that, and how difficult is that? Because you were saying maybe sometimes you might be reduced to. Are you having like food drops? Or what way you working that with food?
Yeah, so there's exact details on my head I couldn't tell you, but yeah, we're having certain food drops. So then I stock up in my bag for however many days we can do that too, which is again that's something we need to work out. Like, how long is it taking me to get to there for food, or am I going to need to stop into a shop just to stock up a little bit before I can get to the checkpoint? But I want to try to stay away from shops as much as possible. I don't want to fall into that trap of I'm passing the shop. Let's quickly go get a Red Bull because I'm feeling a bit low on energy. I don't want to have to do that. I want to kind of last on what I got and live on what I got and just get to them checkpoints. But the nutrition side of thing is I can kind of eat what I want on it, to be honest. I've got a nutritionist and he's amazing. He writes my plans to me down to the T, and we work very closely to achieve these goals. And he'll do all that for me. He'll send it to the places it needs to be, and he'll make sure it's all how I need to, and he'll just leave me a little list inside, and I know what to eat that day, because sometimes I go brain dead, like, especially on my like long runs. I could be in the middle of absolute nowhere, 40 miles into a run or something, and I can't think. So I need it in front of me to be able to look, okay, you need to eat this now at this time. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble. So eat.
Yeah, I suppose it's getting that timing, and then I know if you're doing like a long, you're very tired and stuff like that. It's very easy. The whole cognitive part switches off, and it's just like food now.
That's it. Because I've just got to try to focus on putting that one foot in front of the other, and it's again, it's me making it harder for myself by having no support car. If I had that support car, they just chuck it at me every time I need to have it. So it's more for me to do, and again, it ups the challenge. This is the stuff that people don't even think about. That they don't think about that I need to eat on these runs. So they don't think about he's carrying all his stuff. And when, say, someone like you or other people that's really in the fitness industry, they're like, oh, okay, he done this with that. He sorted all his nutrition out himself. Okay, that makes it 10 times harder. He's done absolutely exceptional on this.
Yeah. No, definitely. And what like planning wise and mapping out, what's been the hardest part of that there aspect, mapping them out or whatever?
So like there's especially like wows and stuff, like I don't know if there's roads, like, so there's certain areas on the map where it's just covered in trees, which it's telling me it's a route to go through. But I'm like trying to zoom in, it does not look like there's a road there at all. Yeah. So there's certain places where I have two routes. So we get to a place and it looks like you can go through it. It says that you can go through it. But so let me go back a step for you. So when I'm I'll say me, my whole team, we all look at it. It's not just me because I could miss stuff. So I have everyone check it over for me. So we select the route that we want to go on. It's taken us absolutely months. And we're still not fully finished now. Yeah. So we select the route that we want to, then we go over it on Google Earth to make sure we can run up that road. How dangerous is it? Okay, so that road there, there's no pathways, there's no sidewalks, so I'm going to be on the road here, so we need to note that down. So I need to be extra careful on these areas. Is there a way that I can avoid this? And if there is, how many miles is that going to be out my way? And is it worth it or isn't it worth it? Do I just stick to that? So a lot of it, we have like 2 different routes for certain roads, just because it's we've got to think of my safety too.
Yeah, definitely, because I think that's the tricky thing, because it's not just you went down the wrong road for maybe 10-15 minutes, but if that's happened a couple of times, it's sapping precious time and resources, because you have to then go, oh, it's not where I'm supposed to be, I need to jog back. It's not, or walk back, whatever. It's eating into that whole effort. So I suppose it's making sure, like, we're down this road, turn left, and so on. And I take it, I know you're using a GPS tracker for people to follow your progress. I'm assuming you're using like a kind of device to follow on along there.
Yeah, I have like my watch. So I've got to have my watch on me, and we're going to be actually having 2 watches, because you know what the batteries are like on some things. And the thing I don't want to happen is for me to run, say, 40-50 miles, my watch dies, and then I've got people saying, he didn't run that, he didn't run this. Yeah. There's no proof that, because he ain't got this on his watch, or he ain't uploaded this to social media. So I've got to have 3 or 4 different devices tracking me. So if my watch runs out, I've still got this other watch, and if both of them run out, I've got my phone, I've got another device, just purely for tracking me, just because I know what people are like on the internet. I know people, even for where I want it for Guinness World Records, I need all the proof that I can get. And this is why I'm happy people want to come out and run with me, because they're witnesses that I've done this, which you, by the looks of it, for this Guinness World Record, you need a lot of witnesses.
Yeah, witness testimony. I met him on this way, ran for 10 minutes. Are you bringing like a wee one of those wee charge packs with you, or is it, or will you have like a point where you can charge your devices?
Both. So we're going to have a few charge packs, and certain places we're going to stop to charge all our devices to make sure everything's good. And again, I want to make this into like a short documentary too. So if I, obviously, it's more stuff for me, but it's me like using my camera, me using my phones, and my GoPros even, and just make note of everything. So not even just for the documentary, but for when I'm 70, 80 and I'm telling this story to my annoying little grandkids, that I ran the whole Great Britain, which not many people have ever done. What more to the extent I want to do it. Not again, no one's ever done it. But even just running that in the John O'Groats is still a rare thing in a sense. Obviously, I know a lot of people doing now, but if you go into your local town and be like, do you know anyone who run lands under John O'Groats? No, they're crazy. Why would they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that is the reaction people give is what you ran from there to there, and it is kind of like viewed as crazy. But yeah, I would maybe argue that not doing things like that, or not challenge yourself at least once, is the definition of crazy. Just doing the same stuff week in, week out. Then what I would be happy, what I'd like to do would be get you on maybe week before you go, and then
100%.
have you on again afterwards, because it would be good to kind of almost see you off, and obviously I'll make sure you get it's a good few days before you start, because you have a lot in your mind, and then
I'm going to be going down Land's End probably 2 weeks before, just to kind of get a nice bit of running in and chill out, like get away from here, get away from the stress, and just focus on the media type of things. Because as I'm getting closer to it, I'm getting more media who wants to know about it. Like I had a little story in my local paper recently about the Bear Crawl Half Marathon and the Great British Run. And even like radio shows has been messaging me like, would you like to come on and talk about your charity challenges? And yeah, of course. So I'm going to have a very like heavy few weeks before. Again, I love it. I love all that type of stuff. It's if I can raise awareness like through a radio or through podcasts, whatever, it's amazing.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that's the thing about mental health, especially with all these lockdowns over the past year. I said my sister, she's a mental health nurse, and they're sitting waiting for they're talking about a mental health time bomb, and they're just waiting for this thing to kind of explode. And I know for Northern Ireland at least anyway, the amount of people asking for antidepressants has risen dramatically during these lockdowns. Yeah. So I think more than ever, mental health I think it's a good thing to kind of raise more awareness of, because it affects everybody. So it does.
That is it. It's like I was having a conversation recently about mental health with children. Like a lot of people don't understand that kids can suffer with mental health too. Like there's daily struggles of the school life. They may even be getting like bullied at school. There's constant, even if you look at maths, for instance, and they like teach you like algebra, and that can stress you out. Like it might be easy for some people, but like that challenges for these kids, that can stress them out, that can cause these mental health issues too. And I know when I was a kid, I didn't want to be going to talk to my mum about certain things, or talk to anyone about things. And even as a kid, you're not really taught to open up about stuff. So you just keep it to yourself. I really do think, like, I've contacted my local MP because I think mental health should be taught in schools. I think
definitely.
Even the other things, like I've been saying this for absolute years, that martial arts should be taught in schools too, not just for say for the exercise. Every kid should know how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying everyone should be going out fighting or anything, because I know some people take this, they don't agree, but I think they should be able to protect themselves. They should be able to feel safe. Like the massive issue at the moment is women not feeling safe when they're out at night. Where if they got taught martial arts at that early age during them school years, a little thing like that, they may feel more safer walking around the streets in the dark. They may be more safer coming home from their friend's house at night. And this is something that I am going to really try my best to do everything I can to try to get mental health to get taught in schools, and try to get martial arts in. Whether how far I get on that, whether they shut every door in my face possible, I will keep knocking until I know I've physically tried everything that I can do in my power. I think it really needs to be addressed. And if we can knock that in at such a young age, especially with the kids nowadays, they carry on weapons. Some of them are absolute idiots, without that sounding absolutely horrible, just because even the discipline of martial arts would be absolutely amazing for these kids. So I really want to protest in a sense for these kids, for the next generation.
100%. I mean, you're right. I mean, mental health. I mean, like, the own experience with that, and that you're definitely right. You don't want to. You don't really want to talk to anybody. You don't really. I think often, well, for me at the time, you don't really understand what's going on, and then obviously you feel that by talking about it, it would show you as weak, as less of a person or less of a man or whatever, and so more so you kind of, it's like papering over damp in the walls. We'll paper over it. We'll forget that it's there. And with regards to martial arts, absolutely, I think martial art. I'm watching this. Martial arts is one of the best vehicles for changing your outlook in life. I mean, I worked in a factory a long time ago. There was a couple of guys I worked with, and I remember just there was a downtime on the production line. They came in to where I was and said, "You need to do martial arts," and each one did their own particular style. And it was like pretty much, it was like salesmen kind of going, "No, no, do this art and do that art." But those guys, I feel bad. I can't remember their names now, but I should. But I really appreciate what they did, because they set me down a path which I have to say it changed. The amount of confidence you get, and it's not about smashing people. It's just knowing that I've got my own self sovereignty. I can protect myself. It's you can't get that anywhere else at all.
That is it. It's like jiu-jitsu. I find jiu-jitsu absolutely amazing, and even for mental health too. Like martial arts and mental health, I think it goes together, because you're letting out that frustration at that same time. Like, and during jiu-jitsu, as you know, like it's a puzzle. Like, it's putting them things together all the time, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And as soon as this Great British Run is done, I know I'm going to spend a lot of time doing jiu-jitsu, because it calms me right down, and I like the challenges of doing it, and it's just amazing for you. It's not about the exercise for me. It's about my mental health, and that's why I was doing it for many years, till obviously these challenges came out and COVID. But yeah, I will get back to it very soon. And even like people can go down that competing path. Like, I've competed in a few jiu-jitsu events myself. Got strangled the first one I've ever done. I was in Phuket, Thailand, and I was training out there, just doing Muay Thai at Phuket Top Team.
Excellent.
I see this little advert when I was like walking down to get some food, and like where Siam Sub Series it was called, and like, we've got an event in Phuket on jiu-jitsu on Sunday here. Do you want to sign up? I'm like, yeah, why not? At that time, I've only ever done like a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and you know that stage like kind of before a white belt when you're like, even these like white belts now a lot more than me. I'm like, shit. So then I've gone into it, and this lad is it turns out I spoke to him after, and he was like a blue belt, and I've gone in because it was no gi, and so I've done very well, like keeping him away from me, keeping my distance. He's just like sprung his legs around me and caught me in this choke, and I was like, nah, Gil. But then the next tournament I done, I won like 3 matches out of like 5, and I just find it again fun, mental health, discipline, everything for it is just absolutely brilliant.
Definitely, and I mean, one of the things, like for me anyway, that I got from martial arts is, I in the early days, a long time ago, thinking hopefully never have to go through this again. But there was a couple of instances where I had to defend myself, and it worked. It worked in a way that there was one incident where a guy was coming back, to attack me. I knew right away what he was going to do, and I was able to stop him. There was no fists, no blows exchanged. I was just able to I think just by body language, Sam the impression to him that if he came any closer, it wouldn't be good for him, and that was it. And that's the top right there of fighting without fighting, and that's it. And it's just having that belief in yourself that regardless of what happened, you're able to defend yourself. And I think that's so important, more so in today. And even I know people talk about the discipline. Discipline is something that I think we all need. Geez, we all, myself included, can all fall behind, but it gives that discipline to kind of to achieve goals, and not by you earn that because you just showed up. You earn that because you put a lot of hard work in. So we're recognizing that. Here's your reward, i.e., blue belt, purple belt, in jiu-jitsu. So it is. We're talking about obviously the once you complete the Great British One, what's obviously the end of 2021, 2022 beyond. I know we previously talked about triathlons. What's your plans there?
So it will be literally straight after the Great British Run. I want to have a good 2-3 weeks off. I say that. I know I will do some type of training, but it's just not going to be heavy. It's going to be more recovery based, more fun based. And then 2022 is going to be a big year for triathlons for me. Like, I've got 2 races this year. I've not been on the bike this year yet. I've not cycled at all. I've done like maybe 5 sea swims. So I know when I do a triathlon, not next month, the month after, it's not going to go great. But I'll be there and I'll be competing. I'll be giving it my all like I always do. And we'll just see what happens. But yeah, 2022, 2023 even, it's going to be big years of triathlon. As you know, I want to make the Olympics 2028. Okay. 2024 was on the cards, but with the past 2 years with expeditions, it's just not going to be possible. So I need to, as you know, if you look at all triathletes, there's no triceps, there's no biceps, and I'm a big boy. I've got big pecs, I've got big biceps, I've got big triceps, I've got big forearms. So it's that unconventional. I'm very unconventional, so I turn up to these events, and they're like, okay, you ain't going to be able to compete. Then I'm keeping up with these people and beating these people at the same time sometimes. I want to prove to people that you don't need to be this twig to compete in triathlon. You don't need to be massive to go and compete in a powerlifting competition. I want to keep raising awareness. We're currently going to be planning like a small speaking tour for late 2022, early 2023. We're going to be, I've contacted a few venues already. So we're making very good progress with it. Again, it's not going to be massive venues. I'm not going to be doing like O2 Arena or anything. It's just going to be very small theatres of maybe like 100, 200 people. And if I can, in them little shows, if I can speak to people and explain to them that you can do anything you put your mind to, like Joe Blogs or Steve03 on Twitter might think you can't do that, you can't do that. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It's don't worry about his opinion, hers opinion. Don't worry about your family's opinion. If you think you can do something, go and do it. Don't worry about anybody. And I want to really get this across to people that sometimes the person holding you back the most is the person closest to you. Again, i.e. mother, wife, husband. You can't let anyone decide your destiny for you. So I want that to really come across in these talks, and I want to be going to talk to schools and explain to them at a very young age, you don't have to decide your whole future straight away. Like,
yeah.
I'm 26 years old, and I've only recently decided I want to go for the Olympics. I've only recently decided that I want to be really serious in this fitness industry. If you ask me this 10 years ago, when I was like 15, 16, just leaving school, I probably would have said like a professional footballer or something. I don't know. I never thought it was a problem, like, because they make you seem to think that you need to have your life together by the time you're 20 now, and it's not the case. You can be 50 years old and think, all right, I don't like this. I want to go into a complete different direction with my career now, whether that be in fitness, whether that be anything you want to do. You can do it. You don't need to have your whole life figured out so young. You don't have to have your whole life figured out when you're 80. You still could have 20 years to live. You can change everything in a blink of an eye. So don't let people get in your head, and do what you want to do. And also have fun. I've locked myself away for so long because I've had these goals. Sometimes I forget that I'm only on this planet once, and I do need to have more fun. My mum once wrote in a birthday card to me, and I was in Thailand at the time, I think. She's like, I'm very proud of everything that you're doing, but you need to have a bit more fun and focus more on the journey instead of the destination. And it stuck with me because even like the Olympics and stuff, I'm always focused on getting that gold medal or silver medal or bronze medal. I don't just want to be there and compete. I want to be there to win. And at the end of the day, after you've done that, what's next? What's it for? So then you need to think, okay, I've won the Olympics now. Again, it could be a job. Like, I'm manager of this firm now. What's next? What's next for me? And again, you can change everything and go into a complete different direction. I got asked recently, in 5 years, what do you want to be? Or in 5 years' time, how do you expect your life going? And I went, I cannot physically tell you this because in a year's time, my whole life might change. I don't know what's going to happen. I may go out and get hit by a car and never be able to run again, so I may not be able to be in the fitness industry. So I don't like that 5-year goals. You know, when people are like, oh, you need a 5-year plan, you need it. No, have a 1-year plan, have a 6-month plan, because you may do everything and you might fail everything. Then you might get completely you may realize that you don't want to do that no more. Yeah. So now you're in a completely different direction. So now your 5-year plan's gone out the window within the first 6 months because you've messed up.
Yeah.
So I think we need to focus more on 3, 6, 12-month plans.
Definitely. What comes to mind is there's a popular meme or a popular post you see on social media, and it's Colonel Sanders of KFC. Mm-hmm. Pretty much his whole life, pretty much he failed at different things. He was fired from this job. His wife left him, and he reached, I think, the goal say he reaches retirement age in the 60s, and he gets a check from the government. And he realizes he doesn't have any money. It's nothing, and the money he has from the government is not enough to live on. I think he plans to commit suicide, the story goes, and then he decides that one thing he is good at is frying chicken. He has this recipe his mum gave him, and the rest is, as I say, is history. So 100%, I think it's things can change very, very quickly. Sometimes at the time when things change, you think, oh, this is the end of the world. But actually, sometimes it can lead on to bigger and better things, better opportunities that you never thought you'd be doing.
That's one thing I've always said is, when I'm on that deathbed, I'd rather say that I shouldn't have done that because that was stupid than I wish I'd done that.
Yeah.
And I try to live like that. So if so right now I wanted to go and do a bungee jump, or I want to start a business up, I will do it. And if it falls in my face, so be it. Like I don't care if I fail, because I know I tried. I know I've done that. I don't want to get to that last final breath and think, shit, I wish I'd done that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Funny if we're talking about this, a letter came through the door today. Well, not a letter, but an advertisement. It was from a local funeral directors, and there was statistics that did some survey on people, and I think the number was 63% of people when they die actually want a celebration of life, than focus on the death. And I think that's quite appropriate. I mean, if you live a full life, then the people there have something to talk about. So
that is it. Like, imagine like at your funeral, like there's nothing to talk about, because all you've done was you done what you were told. You fell into that trap of that 9 to 5, and you never pushed yourself. So even if that makes you fulfilled now, is that going to make you fulfilled when you're 100 or 80, 90, 100 on your deathbed?
That's it. I think the point is we're also living a lot longer. So you don't want to be living to like maybe 99 years old or 100 years old. Yeah. Kind of look back, go, I wish I actually spent more time doing X, Y, and Z than doing that overtime for Mr. Smith. Whatever. But no, definitely. I think going back to what you said earlier, particularly about school, I mean, the education system has you kind of, again, it's an impact on mental health for kids. There's this big pressure and push that by the time you leave fifth year, leave school at the age of 16, you have to have it all together, and you don't. And nobody at 16 has it all together. I certainly didn't have a clue. And it's just, I think that's not fair. I think it's not fair to with that pressure. It should be literally do what you want to do. Do the courses or the subjects that interest you. See where it takes you. And at the end of the day, with what we have at like Open University, colleges, there's people 40 years old, 50 years old, retraining. I know it's not always feasible, but retraining and going down different routes. And
there's always time.
Yeah. So it's, I think that's a really good message to kind of put out, is that just because you maybe failed GCSEs or A levels or you washed out of university, it's not the end of the world. It's if I think it's just a start, maybe on to a better future as well.
That is it. It don't mean you're not going to achieve anything in life. It's people, especially if they have that weak mindset, like they could be really put off by that, and they, as you know, like the suicide rate nowadays is absolutely like it's everywhere. It's very high, and it could be something like that pushes someone to, okay, right, I messed up my GCSEs. I'm meant to have my life together by 2 years' time. That's not going to happen, and they could try to self-harm or maybe even take their own life. And it starts like that. It starts with all this little shit all adds up, and which that's me saying little shit. It could be little shit to us, but that's a really big thing for a 15, 16-year-old. They've got the world on their shoulders at that age, and everyone expects so much from them when realistically they're kids.
Yeah.
And we forget that they need to be kids before they decide anything. And like you just said, you can go down a different path at any age you want. You ain't got to stick to that path. So I'd like to get that out as much as possible. Again, like when I'm doing these tours, I'd like to go speak at a lot of schools, and if I can try to implement that to the next generation, I feel like I would have done my job. if I can just do anything to help these people, I'd feel happy. I feel like when I leave this planet, I want to know I've done everything I can, not just for myself, but for my family, for my friends, for everybody. I want to be able to change it for the better.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the ultimate service is being the service of other people and helping. I think messages like what we're talking about, I think they need to come out more. And by, I don't watch this. By no means are we saying school's not important. Obviously, it is, but it's not the most important thing. There's life beyond that. My own high school, that was the message that was very much put across, was that this is it. If you don't get this now, you're finished. We had a standing headmaster, and he walked around the assembly, and I think we talked about this before, and he pretty much said, some of you are going to succeed and go on to have great careers. Some of you are going to end up on the brood or the dole, and some of you are going to end up in prison. And that was literally his motivational speech for us pretty much leaving school to go on and do our exams for GCSEs. And you're just like, okay, you have much faith for this.
Imagine telling that to a bunch of 14, 15, 16-year-olds that if you mess this up, you're going to end up in prison or you're going to end up on the dole or whatever. Like, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't.
It's mental. But that was the attitude some of our teachers have, was that we're just animals. It's just the way they viewed us.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're all a number. You're all. It's all about stats and whatever they do nowadays. They try to look the best when realistically they're not putting in that effort to be the best.
Yeah, and it does, like as you said, it has long-reaching implications. For example, if somebody was put off by PE in school, maybe the PE teacher just didn't care. I was like, you're doing this sport and that's it. And they weren't shown how to play the sport or any experience. They then go through their life kind of viewing physical exercise or PE as bad. So when they come to someone like yourself as a personal trainer, you then have that battle to go, no, it's not like that. Let me show you. We'll find something you're into. It's not as bad as it is.
That's very fitting for the moment, actually. I've recently had a client reach out to me. A customer. He wants to. His exact words was to me that, "Can you help me get in shape before I sign up to a gym?" And I said, "Why? That's what the gym's for. You don't have to be in shape to go to the gym. That's absolutely stupid. The gym is there as a tool to help you get in shape." Again, I went in depth and explained to him that first of all, you need to focus on your nutrition, blah blah blah. But don't be scared of going to the gym because you're overweight at the moment, because you're not in shape. No one cares. No one's looking at you in the gym. So don't. That's again, it's the wrong mindset. It's going back to like in PE, not doing PE because you didn't understand the sport. Now you're 40, 50, whatever, and you want to start making yourself more healthy, but you're scared to go to the gym because you think everybody's looking at you. You think everyone's judging you. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's focusing on their self, so do not worry about anything like that. And that's another thing I want to get across, and that's something I try to explain to all my clients, that nobody cares what you are doing in the gym. Like, nobody is watching you at all. So keep your head, stick to your training plan, and you will get the gains. You will get the body you want to have as long as you're strict with it. So forget other people's opinions. They're really not important.
Yeah, 100%. Basically, obviously, we talk about your plans. If you could, I know you've since the last chat, you have a few businesses. You have the Harris Sports and Media, and Ruthless Performance Academy. Can you tell us a bit more about them? And
So Harris Sports and Media is a company that I'll use to invest into other brands now. So I've recently been using it because I needed an investment company, which a big aim for me is to make money while I sleep. So when I'm doing all these expeditions, I don't have to worry so much about when this is over that I'm not going to have no money because I've smashed all of my money into this. So that's Harris Sports and Media Limited is an investment company. So I'm investing into, I'm just about to invest into a coffee company, a clothing company, and that's all just me helping them companies reach their full potential. And again, that excites me too. Like, it's that challenge of helping. Again, it's not me saying it's all me, because it's not. There, these companies are already very well set up. They're all very good businesses, but it's just me investing into them and helping them even more. And with Ruthless Performance Academy, that is my personal training business now. So a lot of when, say for instance, I'm making tops for Ryan Harris Fitness, a lot of people may not want to wear them because it's got my name on, my logo. So this is when I came up with Ruthless Performance Academy, because you might not want to wear a top with my name on, but with Ruthless Performance on, you'll wear it, because one, it's a very cool logo, and two, there's a meaning behind Ruthless Performance, and for me, I think the meaning behind it for everyone can be different, but for me, you have a ruthless performance in every aspect of your life. So whether you're in the stock market, whether you're working a 9 to 5, whether you're in the fitness industry, you need a ruthless performance to succeed with anything. And even like you in this in podcasts, like you want to be better than your competition. Like you want to have that #1 podcast in the world or in Northern Ireland. You want to have that ruthless performance to make that happen, and that's why that's actually why I called the brand Ruthless Performance, because again, I want to help people. I want to help people have that ruthless performance to achieve all their goals. And it's not just help them achieve their goals like physically, but it's mentally. It's to help them with their business, to help them with life goals, help them with anything they want to achieve. If I'm skilled enough to do it, I can help you. If not, I can hire people in to help you achieve these goals. And again, that's what Ruthless Performance is. We've also just started a brand new company called Don't Be a Effing Pig Wellness.
Okay.
And again, it's this is very new, and this is going to be a big thing in 2022. But I have chefs available now. I've got another nutritionist as well as myself, and we're going to be doing a meal prep company though. So it's funny actually, because I've just started up the Instagram account for it, and I've followed a fair few people, and this one girl messaged me back going, "I know I've ate bad recently, but there's no need to call me that." And there's no need to make me feel bad. But it's catchy. So like when you're going to see my signs up and they see it say, "Don't be a effing pig wellness," they're like, "What's that? I want to know what that is." It's that marketing that is so catchy that you're desperate to know what it is. And basically what it is it's just going to be a meal prep company. So you can place your order online. You can tell me your goals. I'll say my team. You can tell my team your goals, and they can set out all your food for the week. So we're going to be delivering every Sunday and every Wednesday or Thursday yet. We've not decided on that middle day. And so the food will be absolutely fresh. It's going to be boxed the best. Everything's going to be the finest, fresh, organic food. When I say organic, I mean we know where every bit of that food comes from. I'm all about eating very clean food. Like, some people say you eat a beef burger, but you don't know where it's from. So I'm all about like looking into the food and seeing what farm that's came from, how it got made, which sounds absolutely crazy to some people, but I myself want to know exactly what's going into my body. I now use this protein called I can't remember now. I think it's like Proximal or something. It's an American brand, and it's completely organic. You can actually track to the exact time that it was done, and I find that absolutely brilliant. So I want to again make more people aware that you can look into everything you're putting into your body, so you know exactly you're not putting you're not putting nothing processed in your body, you're not putting any rubbish in your body, and that's the aim with that. We're just trying to make the world healthier, and at the start it's just going to be Hampshire, which is the county which I'm from, and we're going to, if it goes the way I'm expecting it to, we're trying to get other places in other counties to hopefully one day covering the whole of UK.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely thing a lot more people are kind of looking for, and especially with the whole. Again, if anyone watching this is not making up silly here, but actually the whole controversy with Brexit. People talk about trade deals with America, chlorinated chicken being brought in, and people kind of what. So I think more and more people are wanting that kind of guarantee that their food's 100% is not being dosed up with strange chemicals.
Yeah. I was looking at my protein the other day, and there's this much protein in there. But then when you look into it, you're like, hang on, that's got so much creatine in it. It's got so much this in it, so much that in it. This isn't just pure protein. This isn't actually good for me. This don't fit my goals. So I count my macros. I count my calories. Again, it's very obsessive, but I've got these goals I need to achieve. So if I just have a shake, if I'm not cautious and I just grab that my protein thing, right, that's going to completely throw me off my my creatine goal today now, because I've already had a scoop this morning and I've got to have another scoop later. Now I'm over my limit for today, which it's not going to hurt you, of course it's not, but it just throws me completely off, and I don't want that. And maybe one day I will go into the supplements industry and maybe do like an organic protein, maybe do clear, like maybe CBD, creatine, BCAAs, and do it also. If you're buying from me, you know it's very good quality, it's fresh, it's organic, you know exactly where it came from, and I can tell you the exact time, the exact spot it was picked. You've got it from, and that's what I want. So again, that's something I will look into in the future. At this present, it's just not achievable, but 5-10 years down the line, it will be achievable, because that's a big operation. Because I could easily start up a protein brand now, but it'll be load of shit in it. Like, if you I've looked into this before, and majority of protein brands, they use the same warehouses. So they use exactly the same warehouses, the same manufacturers, and it's all the same shit. It's all just getting mixed together, where I don't want that.
The only difference is the label on the box.
Yeah, that's it. It's you can buy like pills now, for instance, let's say BCAAs or fish oil. You're just buying it off this company and whopping your sticker on it. That don't sit right with me, because imagine imagine doing that and putting your whole brand on the line for something you don't know what's in. You're just going on what they've told you. No, I can do it. I need to know exactly what's in it. And again, that's my obsessive mind of wanting the best, not just for myself, but for everybody around me and just everybody. And I just don't think a lot of people care. They're just more about the money. And one thing I've always said is the money's not important to me. Of course, it's nice when the money comes, but that's not the goal for me. The goal is to help people achieve their goals, help people be better, help people mental health, help people with everything they want. Money is just not important. At the end of the day, we're all going to end up in exactly the same place. Why are you worried about money, mate? It don't make sense to me.
You know yourself. I think everyone watching this, we all know a business that we go to because the service is that good and you're looked after. I mean, I had the car in getting fixed today, and I go to the same guys. It's a bit of a drive to get to, but I know I'm going to be looked after. I know I'm not going to be ripped off, and there's accountability and there's transparency between me and the mechanic. And I've been to, again, like a lot of people have been to mechanics where literally they're pulling figures out of thin air. Oh, it's going to be this now, and it's going to be that. And there's other businesses that the same kind of thing. So I think that's one of the key things is having that accountability, because maybe at the start people that can go, why don't you just cut a few corners, you make a quick buck? But I think if you deliver on quality, that's what people want. That's why Marks and Spencer's food is so popular and people buy it, because they know they're buying quality. Marks and Spencer's has that reputation.
That is it. It's and that's what I want for one day when I do step into that industry. I want people to know that if they're buying from me, if they're buying from my brand, they know it's completely worth the money. It might be a little bit more expensive because I've got to get it from this field or blah blah, or whatever we make it. But they know it's the freshest. They know it's the most organic. They know it's got all the nutrients in that you need, and that's one of the goals.
Excellent. We're pretty much, I think we're running out of time. But just to finish off, Ryan, how can people get in touch with you regarding the business, the Burquhall Half Marathon, and the Great British One?
So the best way at the moment is through either Instagram or Facebook, and they're both Ryan Harris Fitness. Or if you want to chuck me an email, it's ryan@ryanharrisfitness.com. And very soon, in around 2 weeks' time, the website will be live, and that's www.ryanharrisfitness.com. I'm always about. There's literally, if you DM me, I'll get back to you. It may take me a couple of days, but I will get back to you. And if anyone wants to chat about mental health, or if they just needed some advice on nutrition or unconventional ways of training, even, I'm here. Reach out to me and I'll help you out. Like I've recently just said, it's not about money for me, so I'm not going to be chasing you down for money. If I can help you out in any way I can, I will.
Excellent. And again, I'll say, if you're happy enough, I'll have you back on mid-July, and then mid-September once everything's done and dusted. But
that's it.
Thanks so much for coming on tonight. It's great to have you on. And again, as always, continued good luck and best wishes with the training going forward.
Mate, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm definitely looking forward to coming back on, because next time I'm on, I would have completed that Belfast half marathon. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Hope to see you soon.
Happy enough with that? Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Again, regards to some of the recordings, it seems when I bring it onto the editing software, it freezes it, and you can't do anything. You can't close it down. So I have to hit restart the computer. So what I'm going to do is, I know this might sound stupid. It's kind of an obvious answer, and some of the recordings I'm going to play it, but screen record it. I have like software to record it, and then literally, hopefully that'll work. I can